without giving details, I mean, I had my life threatened more than once. I
Oh,
had,
that'll do it. That'll
yeah,
push you over the edge.
yeah, that was pretty bad.
Did you peel out of the parking lot burning rubber?
Well, I had to get on a train, so
Well, a train's even better. You can jump cars, and keep looking
yeah.
behind you.
And now, here is singer songwriter, broadcaster, audio video artist, entertainment agent, and your host. It's the master storyteller himself, James Kevin O'Connor.
Hey, hey, it's springtime in the USA. Are we feeling it? Are we feeling it, brothers and sisters? Time to wake up and enjoy this weather. Hey, before we get rolling on today's show, don't forget to please forward this to a friend, this episode. There'll be something in here that somebody you know will find very valuable. So let's get into it, shall we? We're going to go up to Mamaroneck, New York today. When you listen into the song within you, you will find the dreams in your heart. When I was in the deepest of depression after accomplishing what I was told were my dreams, I was ready to give up. How could these be my dreams if they are making me so miserable? I didn't understand why they were given to me. Also, I was not listening to my heart. So you better strap up your seatbelts because we're taking a ride up the Northeast Coast to Mamaroneck, New York from the Music City to visit with Debby Krusz.
I want to congratulate you, Debbie, on your book, Soul Meets Body,
Oh,
on
thank
Amazon
you.
right now. Yeah. This is I'm taking it that this has been a somewhat of a recent publication. Is that correct?
It's not that recent. It came out in the beginning of 2021, or yeah, like around now, 2021. So it's not that recent. I'm trying to work on more marketing tactics to gain more followers, to gain more of an audience to purchase the book and get it some good numbers. But I'm also trying to working with an entertainment company. And so with that, I'm hoping to get that into a screenplay and might be one of the productions that we're looking to gain some investors for. So
Fantastic! Congratulations. That's a big accomplishment, and it's a really big thing to take on too. So I wish you all the best of success, and hopefully we can help you here on podcasting your global career and really get some traction for you.
thank you.
So yeah, so the book is out, and take us down the trail of Soul Meets Body. I found your resume and your bio really fascinating.
Oh, thank you.
I found a lot of myself in there, and many entrepreneurs, I'm sure, have traveled that road, that tough, bumpy road that continues to throw everything in the kitchen sink and then some in your way, trying to achieve what you're trying to achieve. So why don't we start with Soul Meets Body, 6 Degrees of You. Can you explain that subtitle for us?
Sure. So Soul Meets Body is actually from a song by Death Cab for Cutie called
Great
Soul.
song. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Oh, okay. So you know it. That's good.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan. Definitely.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I like that. I like their stuff. I get a little upset sometimes with artists when you kind of dig a little more and then, they try to get all political on you and you're like, oh, I really like you don't stop
Yeah.
talking. But I don't can't really get into a lot of their newer stuff, but I like some of their older. Anyway, so when I write, I always have like just a really small playlist of a few songs, and that song was just really deep on my heart, and I went into writing it in 6 degrees of you because I feel like we're all so connected and there's no coincidences of meeting somebody or why somebody's in your life. And I just felt like it was appropriate because soul meets body. It's really just understanding your purpose of who you are and your connections and really utilizing what God gave you to understand your soul, like in this body, if that makes sense. Um, and, it was just connections with some people in my life at that time that I needed to figure out, and really was given some hard truths about myself and not really seeing things from a different point of view. So I felt like it was a spiritual journey for sure. And I just wanted to capture it looking at it through somebody else's eyes.
So you said it was a spiritual journey. Has something happened to end that journey, that particular one, and begin a new one, or are you still on the same journey?
Uh, I mean, I think that the journey just continues. I don't, think we ever get that opportunity to jump off. I mean, we get lulls, you take little breaks, I think. But I learned so much from writing that book and the meaning of it, and people that in real life were mirrored off of these characters, and just how it's changed me in relationships, and really trying to look at things as a bigger picture and not just always being a victim, and looking at it that way, and realizing the person that I had in mind while writing it, just realizing um we all have gifts and talents, and it's if you want to use them or not. And unfortunately, in real life, that person just doesn't want to see their gifts and talents and utilize it, and just continues to punish himself. And that's his journey, like that's something he has to deal with. And he was excited that kind of used him as my muse, so to say, for the
Yeah.
book. But and got to see some truths in himself. I mean, the story is made up, but when you know that it's a reflection of stuff that came from you, um, it was interesting to feel some of that. So I think my journey is never over. And right now, I am in a bit of a frustration place of just not staying in the trust and not staying in every, that faith of it. God's always taking care of you, and you got to just go through it and let him do his work. And I need that reminder to constantly stay in trust with him, and how my words are very effective of putting a negative connotation to things that I've been working on. So right now that's where my journey is really focusing on what I'm saying and how I'm articulating things, because it could be taken the wrong way and it could have a negative connotation, and I really need to change that. And that comes from my thoughts, and really staying in line with God and my soul purpose, of that reminder of you're in charge and I'm here to glorify you. I need to stop being negative and feel like things aren't going to work out or happen for me. So
Yeah, I think we all get that from time to time. Even the people with the most, you'd think they'd have the most ironclad faith, but everybody gets shaken from time to time, and it's a hard life to navigate the challenges, especially when they get stacked up one on top of another. And it's like, wow, I just had the week from hell. What happened here? It's like, if I have one more disappointment in the next couple of days, I think I'm going to scream. I love what you did with your name, Debby Kruszewski, and it's Debby Krusz. What a cool name, Krusz.
yes.
I love that. So you grew up and you're still in Westchester, New York?
Yes, I live in Mamaroneck. I grew up here and I've stayed here. I went to local college as well. I stayed home for some family reasons, and continue to be close to my family as people are getting older and, things are getting a little scary. So try to enjoy every moment while you have it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, you know, it's funny to be like, I see that you were in the corporate world, as so many people have been that I've interviewed, and then decided this is really not for me. And when was it that you decided, hey, I've been doing this for a while and I just don't, you said you had like zero fulfillment, like your insides were just not being satisfied. So what were the circumstances like when this led you to like a new type of life, a new type of career? And like where were you working, and if you want to share that? And then what happened? Was it a cataclysmic moment? Was it like just turn on a dime, or was it something that built for a long time and then it just finally, the dam broke and you said that's it? How did that go for you?
Well, I felt like I was always listen. I never had my visions for me never matched what everybody else's visions were, and if I ever shared what I was feeling or thinking, I would get shot down right away. So I had so much doubt in my life because my my relationship with God was different, and no, I couldn't find somebody that also related to that or could see the way I see it. So, I would question when I would get messages, or signs and symbols, I would be either made fun of or dismissed, or, none of that works. And it kind of, followed through as I must be wrong. Like I just completely must be wrong because I can't get any clarification or anybody that is hearing my word. I feel invisible. I feel like I don't exist. And I'm just a Pavlov dog going, waiting for that bell to ring. So I had a different plan for school. I was going away to college, and I was going to be a dancer and minor in business. And we had some family issues, so I stayed at home for school, and I went to business school. And you get to a small college, which is now a university, so we're very excited for that. But back then, it was like, okay, these are your options. You're going to become an accountant, you're going to become a school teacher, or a cop. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to do any of that. So I stayed in the business school because I felt like that was still part of what I wanted to do. And I focused on business management. And then, I was told to get a job that made a lot of money. And, the more money you have will be happiness. And again, I'm like, not my dream, but hey, I must be wrong. So I just followed along. And then it was like, no, get a fancier title because that's where the money is. And that's where you'll be happy. And I'm like, I don't believe that, but sure. And I worked my way all the way up to a CEO position, and it couldn't have been worse. Like the money changed a lot of how I did things. Like it was easy to throw dollars at something that you didn't want to deal with, or, oh, well, I can always just buy another outfit. I don't need to go to the cleaners. I'll just buy another outfit. Or I don't need to cook. I can order in. I could, like it was things that took away from who you were. People, treated you differently, because you had money, and it was like, sure, I'll treat everybody to dinner. Sure, let's go on this trip. You were just became a money figure, and people weren't really appreciating who you were. I wasn't appreciating who I was. The job came, it was a very hard position. Of the leadership was asked to leave for a lot of illegal suspect, which is, if it's true or not, I don't know it. And now that I know a little bit more years later, I don't want to know anymore. But I was standing in carrying lots of empty high-end spots, and there's a lot of ugly decisions that needed to be made, and I just was making ugly choices that were not my choices. It was dictated from there's always somebody above you, right? And I was just felt like I was going to die. I really did. I felt like I was not living. I was just mimicking every day. And I felt like I was going to have a heart attack or a stroke or something or get into an accident or something. I felt like I was going to die. And I'm like, I know that this isn't my life, and I know this isn't what I want. And this has never been my dream. This has always been a dream somebody's told me to have.
So let me ask you,
Sure.
where did this influence come from? That was, you kept saying, you've been saying that I was pushed into this and I was influenced into this. So where did these decision makers come from? Was it family, or like how did this
Family,
happen? Yeah.
family, and then you're in an environment where everybody is like kind of bought into it of like, yeah, okay, so I'll either be an accountant or a cop, whatever, I'm fine with that. Everybody around me is doing it, and I'm like, it just never felt me. It just, none of that felt like I was in a place where, oh my gosh, I belong here and this is where I should really be. And yes, I have a lot of great friends. I'm not sitting here saying like, I don't want my friends or my family. I mean, I love all of them. I have a lots and lots of friends. I just never felt comfortable with my just who I was, because I wasn't who I wanted to be.
So do
And
you feel that that influence, it probably came from a source of what they felt was a heartfelt good for Debbie to do this. But I mean, at some point you must have known or figured out that this was just their paradigm operating what they've been taught. And it's
right.
just like they're influencing you by just repeating, like you referenced Pavlov's dogs or Pavlov's law of, you hear something, you memorize it, and you repeat it without question. And I've experienced some of this myself, a lot of this myself in my younger years. You're conditioned somehow, and you take that as a truth, yet it's not your truth, it's someone else's truth. And then you're expected to live by that. And we don't know, I think, that we actually have to give ourselves permission to crawl out of that and say, nah, I think I'm going to decide for myself what's good for me. So it sounds like you did that at some point. And when was that? Was that you were still in corporate and then you just decided, I'm going to shift now?
Well, I prayed to God. I was like, God, I don't want to die. I don't want to die doing this and live, leave at this point, with where I was in my life. If it was God's choice, then fine. I would accept and understand that. But I'm like, I don't feel like it. And I'm like, God, tell me what to do. Like, I was surrendering to you. Tell me what to do. And I heard a voice that said, I want you to leave and I want you to write. And I just want you to start writing. And I did. And the times before that, God had spoke to me and I dismissed him because, again, I was like, that can't be God, because I didn't feel like I was worthy enough for God to speak to me so directly. I thought it was just a voice guiding me to do something that felt crazy. And I didn't do it. And, I realized that though that was God talking to me. And I'm like, I promised him, I said, the next time I hear you in that strength and in that voice, whatever it is, I will do it. And that was when he spoke to me. And I was like, I'm doing it. And, everybody thought I was insane and crazy. Um, but I did it. And, there are really hard times where you're like, why? Maybe I should go back and just get a job again and, live that lifestyle. But no, God keeps directing me to just continue this mission. And, I gear off and try to do something else. And then it's like, well, why isn't it working out? Oh, because God told me to be writing and not to be doing all these other things. So it's a constant, you're in a constant reminder of, what did God tell you? It was simple. Just do what he told you and let him take care of the rest. And, I don't want to ever go backwards for sure, but I need that constant reminder of, God is in control, and I need to just stay in that trust with him and continue to write.
Yeah, so you're bringing up an interesting memory for me when I first completely changed careers. I had coffee with this woman who was sort of attempting to do the same thing. And she shared with me that, she went on to be a solopreneur like I had been doing for about a year or two, I guess. And she said, I tried this, and she said, I lasted 2 weeks because it was so isolated for her, and it was so lonely. And there is a huge amount of difficulty when you undertake this type of thing, this solopreneur, because you're kind of on your own until you start to establish some friendships, some associations, some people who are in the same world that you are in. So I think that's one of the harder parts of this, is you're not only trying to figure out where the hell you belong, but you're also all by yourself. At least if you're in a corporation or a structured job, it's like, I have the schedule. I get in the car at 7:15 every morning. I go here every day. I get the paycheck every Friday. It's also it's also regimented, that you almost can fall into a pattern of, I don't ever question. I just roll with it. And, we end up doing that for like years on end, even though, like you said, there was something disturbing about this. You were just not feeling like this is where you really belonged.
Yeah, yeah, I totally fell into that trap of, get up. I was just going through motions, and it was horrible. There was a lot of things going on at the job that were very uncomfortable, and it was stuff that happened before I got there, but having to deal with it, that really put me in a place of, I don't want to be here.
Can you share with us worst experience in corporate America, without tipping your hand about any names or any company names or anything like that, but like just in general, the worst experience, like the worst part of being corporate America, which may have had an influence on you being where you are now?
Yeah. Without giving details, I mean, I had my life threatened more than once.
Oh, that'll do it. That'll push you over the edge.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Did you peel out of the parking lot burning rubber?
Well, I had to get on a train, so
Well, a train's even better. You can jump cars, and keep looking
yeah,
behind you.
yeah. The first time I was like, that, did he just threaten me? Like, telling me he had a gun in his bag and he wasn't afraid to use it. And my boss was sitting we were in like cubbies sort of, and he was in the next one, and he knew more about the situation that was going on than I did. He kept me in the dark.
Would that be considered a veiled threat?
I don't know.
Because he had it in the bag, he said.
He said he had it in a bag, and I'm like, don't we have to go through security to get in this building? You're trying to remember, what. That was hard, especially because it was somebody I really liked. And,
Yeah.
he unfortunately got caught doing something.
See, that's another thing, Cruz, is people are putting on their famous, false loving smiles in the corporate world all the time for political gain. And you really don't know who they are until, push comes to shove, and it's like, am I getting the promotion and the raise? And I'm gonna cut your neck off, cut your head off to get it. I have to step on a dead body to do it. I'll do it. So it's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's one of those things you never think could happen. You would be in that place because, it's like, I'm in a fancy suit in a fancy building in Manhattan, and, why would this happen? But, I'm going to just say, I know that there's goodness in him. And I think he fell into a bad situation, and he was just reacting. I don't believe in his heart he had it to do it. And, like, he has something he has to deal with in his relationship with God. And, I'm, wouldn't think about it until you brought up that thought. And I'm like, yeah, that was pretty bad. Or, I think those hard parts is when you unveil things at a job. And that was part of my job was running large operations and finding people that you really think are good people, finding them doing illegal things or things that are just really morally incorrect.
Yeah.
And that hurts. That hurts. And it's like the person, that if you're doing something to somebody, that is really painful and upsetting to be like, I can't believe people that work under me feel it's okay to treat this person this way. And, it's, and then, when you have to let people go, some for reasons that they need to go, but when you're letting people go that, it's like, why am we sitting here? And that they can't pay their bills, and what their family situation is. And those moments just broke my heart.
Yeah.
Those are the really, really hard parts, letting staff go, because they become like your family, and it's disappointing when people, I always say, like, people can fire themselves, right? Like if you're
Yeah.
not performing or you're just not putting into it. And I tried to do a whole rehab program, which I did. I was very successful at it, of people that were at that level, because it broke my heart to fire people. And I was like, there's no reason why you should be on the list of somebody who's next to get fired. Let's
Yeah.
rehab you. And we're working with these people and rehabbing them and realizing how valuable it is to give back to these employees. Really, that's what got me through the day. It was being like, I want to stay and do this because I want to do good for people and not dwell on all the ugly parts of it.
So
So
you have the heart of a servant. That's probably
I
the
try.
motivation that kept you there.
Yeah,
So
it's a beautiful thing to really have a staff that, they're looking up to you, and you have to remember that and realize that. And it's how you treat people and how you give to them what they're lacking, give them skill sets, or just be a kind ear to listen to them, or, speak to them and give them advice. And that is so important. And I just had a meeting earlier today where we were discussing all of that. You have to give value, and, that can be very draining. And I think a lot of leaders don't see it that way.
yeah.
It's climbing up the ladder. It's the more dollars. It's like, no, there's a people here. And everybody's connected for a reason. And I really, truly believe that. So, I'm grateful to be in that position, or have been in that position where I was able to help people, or to be a voice for them, or a guide for them. And, um, you know, there's, like, we were talking about what was the most horrible things. And you look at those situations and it's like, if I wasn't here to be their voice, this would continue. Like, this bad behavior or this illegal behavior would just probably continue.
Yeah.
So, I think of those people that were being harmed or done wrong against, and being able to help them, and those are the rewarding moments of
Who do you think
feeling
this
feeling good
this
about it. Yeah.
yeah. Who do you think this book is best for? Like, if you what's your target market? Is it for the corporations, or is it for entrepreneurs, or is it for both?
I think it's for both. I mean, I think it's for people that kind of are lost in their direction of their life, or get to that point of, why do I wake up every day? Why am I here? Or going through a moment of, I'm in this bad divorce and I'm never going to see past it, or just in a job that makes you miserable. And it gives you that faith of, we all are here for a reason, and there's a purpose. And once you focus on your sole purpose, you really see the light of, okay, I have this job and it's miserable, but I brought here to do other things. And once you look at what are those other things and realize that those are on your heart because God gave that to you, then you realize how doors start to open, and that He's always taking care of you. And if you just stay in trust with yourself, all of those things come to fruition when it feels and seems impossible and you think it's not going to work. And you being positive is an attraction for other people to be positive. So I like to think that we all come to a moment in our life where we have that brokenness and feel like everything is impossible. And I look at people for that to open those doors. And there is a level of entrepreneurialism in that of, hey, I'm really good at this job and I'm going to take it on. I'm going to go on my own and do it. And then realizing, well, I did it and it didn't fulfill me and things didn't go as planned, but I stayed in trust with myself and with God and look at all the beauty that happened after. So.
Amen. Debby, best place for people to connect with you, where would you like them to go to reach out to you, to say hello? And also your book is on Amazon, which we will put the link in the show notes, but any preference on how people should connect to you?
Sure. I try to keep it as simple as possible. I'm pretty active on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, but I'm also, on Twitter and I'm sure I'm missing one or two and TikTok. Yes. I am working on a whole bunch of new videos, so I hope to come out with a series of those soon. I keep it very simple, all Debby Krusz, DebbyKrusz. And my website is the same, debbykrusz.com. And again, all my handle is Debby Krusz, DebbyKrusz.
Awesome. Such congratulations on the book, Soul Meets Body. Check it out at Amazon. Support Debby in this endeavor. And Debby, I just want to wish all of God's blessings on you, your family, and your career moving forward.
Thank you very much.
Another great show. So glad you guys showed up today for Podcasting Your Global Career. Please check out all the links in the show notes. My coaching link is in there. Let's uncover your purpose and get a discovery session with me. No obligation. What have you been waiting for? I'm your host for Podcasting Your Global Career, James Kevin O'Connor. So until the next time when we meet again, I'll either see you on the socials or I'll see you from the stage.
Ride on, baby, won't you take a ride with me? Ride on, we can untangle all the mystery. If wishes were windows, I'd open one and find that freedom is really a simple state of mind. So ride on, baby, won't you take a ride with me? Ride on, we can untangle all the mystery. Ride on, baby, you and I can find the key. Ride on, we can unlock each other's destiny. I taste the breeze of freedom, it's tingling on my tongue. You and I out on the road will stay forever young. We'll stay forever young. So ride on, baby, won't you take a ride with me? Ride on, we can untangle all the mystery. Ride on, baby, you and I can find the key. Ride on, we can unlock each other's destiny. I'll take you places that you've never seen. I'll take you places that you never dreamed. I'll take you places that were pictures in your mind. I'll take you places beyond the reach of time. So ride on, baby, won't you take a ride with me? want you to